In the age of Marvel Entertainment trying to squeezing out as many projects as they could, using 200% of their brain for the 600th time, just like the surprisingly great No Way Home, in the intergalactic trash can, between a show about talking, everything in the head, woman's talking, everything in America is haram, and a kingpin having a therapy session. I know there's What If, but honestly, that show peaked. Except season 2, that one is really worth getting hit by Nikki Haley's sign up. One of the shows managed to be the odd one out, and that is the continuation of the classic X-Men cartoon. Titled X-Men 97 is not just one of the few Marvel projects that has passion, but I think the selling point is the fact that it improved most of the aspects of the original cartoon. I mean, we can talk all day about the upgraded animation besides the art style, it also follows the trends of anime fights, which is so visually engaging. But the other efforts are in the story. Now, I've never watched the classic X-Men cartoon, but despite me being a newbie, this is the first time I followed the story. It still managed to brood me everything I need to know, even though the style of the pacing of the story screams one last ride, meaning it isn't the last chapter, it's still showing a lot of world building and addictive tensions thanks to the well-written characters that can easily be distinguished by their personality, especially Cyclops, Jean, Wolverine, Gambit, Rogue, Beast, Jubilee, and of course Magneto. God, that was fucking mouthful. Blech. To be a bit more in-depth, the emotional yet matured flow of the story is what from my experience keep the audience engaged throughout all 10 episodes. It follows the good guys who every single time had an argument that ends up in a good term because they still acknowledge that they are grown adults at the end of the day. But there's a threat, in the form of different bad guys that has the same sinister intent who individually could probably destroy a huge army in an instant. And their sole intention is to break the heroes apart, which in the story point of view is a pretty fair deal. Like they are completely psychopaths, which is why every encounter with them, the plot completely changed. Like one of them ends up creating a clone of Jean Grey, but then the other one, well, he came ended a lot of people in a festival and also killed Gambit. Like he straight up fucking dead on the floor. I also love the fact that right before that episode, which is episode 4, it was a bit more calm, so kind of like the calm before the storm, so that you get ready for a literal mass game ending that would definitely shatter your heart. Adding more point to it, after episode 5, the pacing only gets better. You got introduced to some places with glamorous narrations and soundtracks, and the cherry on top is the fact that it gets more serious. At one point, the bad guys starts killing each other, even Rogue ended up attempted to drop the presumed killer off a building, and the final fight with Magneto and Charles Xavier is just amazing. Of course, they get into like psychic fight, but it's for a character moment that we haven't been to. It's crazy to think that this is a kids show, yet it is more mature than Invincible.
Shut your fucking mouth, you'll do no.
Yep, I know. After I yapped too much about Invincible, I got a lot of comments, and reading through them, sure one comment stood out to be the nicest at least, but the majority is just either insult or just completely missing the point that I was making. And that is, Invincible Season 2 just focused too much on character moments that it overshadowed the important plot of the show. Especially for this one comment insinuating that I'm a man-child. Well, did you know that I like Squid Game and Andor? You know, two shows that actually has slower character development. Basically, character moment is important, but the same thing should apply to actions or consequences. The very thing you've mistaken it for action and awesome parts. The actions or consequences were important as it played a key role in the changes of plot and set challenges, while character moments is to make you understand the characters. Squid Game and Andor stood out to me because it perfectly balances the importance of characters who deserve the extended screen time while also adding tensions and the coming threat to change the pacing. So if the story is imbalanced, you'd have two sides of the spectrum. One that has too many characters talking and talking, which is like Invincible Season 2. And the other side is the one that has too much actions, consequences, pacing, and that is X-Men 97. Now let's put all of this aside because this is where the criticism comes. As I said, X-Men 97 has way too many spectacles that it kind of forgot the importance of character development. Sure, there were moments of it, but unfortunately in a short duration so that you get ready for the next fight or grandiose. For example, in episode 4, when Jubilee and this new recruit Roberto got trapped in a video game, in less than 10 minutes, Jubilee's character changed from not comfortable to straight up joyful. I mean, sure, you could make up the argument that it's a cartoon, it doesn't have a longer like an hour duration. But I've watched other cartoon series like Scott Pilgrim or Kaiju number 8, which I've watched recently, where each episode is around 20 to 25 minutes, and they pretty much nailed the moment of where a character talks and where a character does something. X-Men 97 could have done the same thing. I mean, the estimated duration for each episode is around 30 to 40 minutes, which is way longer than the aforementioned series. And this also followed with the same repetitive of characters having love interests that literally makes no sense. Like I said, X-Men 97 no doubt did improve a lot. The emotional depth of the tensions and the reactions by the characters completely subverted our expectations, and it made us awake to a relief that's about to happen, but still unsure due to the threats that tries its hardest to change the flow of the plot to an even bigger threat. And the fact that again the runtime for each episode is around 30 to 40 minutes is insane for a 2D animation. And for that, I have to give a huge credit to the animation team for their hard work that looks so amazing. See that invisible? Yeah, I thought so. To be honest, there's really not much to say about this series because almost everything about it is perfect. The amount of characters, even though become a problem, I can still caught up to them. And I really forgot to talk about the new guy Roberto, and he is definitely an example of a new legacy character done right. He gets into the spotlight in the final episode, but through a deserving and understandable adventures that revealed what he's able to do. Okay, so thank you for watching till the end. If you do enjoy this video, then like it and comment down below for your own thoughts on the show. If you do want to support the channel, then feel free to subscribe. And I'll see you later. Peace.